let me know that you guys can hear me okay. And I'm on the gold charts on 5 minutes.
Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys. My partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.
Just getting all set up, guys. We're gonna get started. First 2 hours on YouTube, and then we'll go just private, okay?
Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys. My partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.
Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining everyone. Welcome. Happy Monday. Good morning. It is 6 a.m. Eastern. It is July 7th. Welcome everybody. And we hope you had a great weekend and ready to get back into the markets this week. Another exciting one. We're going to go over everything this week. Normally we do this Monday morning, so we'll go over all of the upcoming news this week until Friday. We'll go over earnings this week. We'll pay particular attention on the big names if there is any, and then we'll get into the charts. We'll do a top down. We'll get started with gold, and then we'll do NASDAQ and US 30. And just a reminder, guys, we're going to go for 4 hours today. So just make sure you guys have a coffee ready to go. you guys got drinks and everything like that. And so for the first 2 hours on YouTube, we're going to go from 6 to 8, and then we're going to go private for the remaining from up until 10. Okay, so let's get started, guys. Let's see how everything is shaped up this week, what we got going on. So we're going to start off with the news. Okay, so this is today, Monday, July 7th. There was already some news coming out of Europe. Not a lot. You can see today is a lot of low impact folders. So we don't have any high impact news. That regardless, it is still a Monday, so we have to treat it with proper risk management as always. And but we can't expect to see too much volatility because we don't have a lot of red folders. But we do have day 2 of the BRICS summit this week. So if you don't know what that is, if you don't know what the BRICS is, it's an abbreviation for these countries: Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa is the S. So that's what it is, and they have meetings all week. Okay, so we'll see what comes out of those meetings. And that's the news today. You can see we don't have much going on at 8:30 a.m. We don't have much going on through Wall Street. So it's going to be a pretty light day news-wise, but still treat it properly when you are trading, okay? Let's see tomorrow, Tuesday. So you can see after midnight tomorrow, there is some Australian red news coming out, cash rate, the rate statements. So they have their interest rate over here. And at 1:30 a.m. Eastern, there's the RBA press conference coming out of Australia, okay? Then we move into pre-London. We do have some German trade balance, some French trade balance, and then we start to get into the London markets. Again, not a lot of volatility in London tomorrow. Then we move into North American sessions, 8:30, there's no news. 10 a.m., we start to get a little bit of news, but nothing big concerning the U.S. markets tomorrow. And then tomorrow evening, we start to get into some Chinese news and then some New Zealand interest rates as well. Okay, so that's Tuesday. Now, midweek Wednesday, we move into the European sessions. Not very busy at all again. Then we have some UK news at 5:30 a.m. Eastern. We have the British 10-year bond auction. Then we start to move into the North American markets. You can still see this week, we don't have any big high impact folders coming out of the US. We do have our weekly crude oil inventories. We do have our US 10-year bond auction on Wednesday, July 9. We'll probably be trading that session during post-New York. And we do have that 10-year bond auction we'll watch. There's also at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, FOMC meeting minutes. This is not the actual conference. This is not where Powell comes out and there's a federal funds rate increase, decrease, or pause. This is just a summary of what happened at the last FOMC, okay? It is high impact. There is a red folder here, so we just have to trade careful when they release these, the summary here, okay? Because it could impact the markets, but it's not one of the actual conference meetings with Powell and an interest rate. Okay, then we move into Thursday. Again, Thursday looks very light this week. Not much going on news-wise this week. We have our weekly U.S. unemployment claims. So we can see last Wednesday, due to the holiday, we have 233,000 unemployed individuals applied last week. So we'll see. They don't even have the forecast out yet. It's still early. We'll see when they release the forecast, and then we'll see what the actual number is this week. We had the 10-year bond auction on Wednesday, and then you can see the next day, again, just after 1 p.m. Eastern, U.S. has the 30-year bond auction. So again, we'll be watching that in our post-New York sessions, okay? And then finally, to wrap up Friday, we do have some news coming out of Europe, pre-London over here at 2 a.m. Eastern. There is some UK GDP month-over-month high impact red folder. Lots of British news coming out Friday in the pre-market in the European markets. And then we start to move into our North American block right here, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And we have some Canadian news. Canadian unemployment change, and then the Canadian unemployment rate. And that's to wrap up the week news-wise. So even let's take a look at earnings here real quick. We don't have anything in the pre-market today. After hours, very light, nothing going on in the after hours today. We're going to move into Tuesday morning. Nothing again scheduled so far in the morning. Tuesday after the close, we finally have a few corporations reporting. Again, I take a look at the names, big names I pay particular attention to. These smaller names, Penguin Solutions, Kara Sushi. I would love some sushi right now, but so I don't think that these corporations are gonna move the S&P 500 or NASDAQ or Dow Jones. So I don't pay too much particular attention to these unless I'm specifically trading these individual companies or I own shares of them. I would be watching, but Tuesday looks light. Let's move into Wednesday. Wednesday before the open. Again, no big names here. Wednesday after the close, AZZ Inc., Bassett Furniture. Again, I don't think that they're big names. We start to get into maybe a familiar name right here. Coming into Thursday morning, Delta Airlines. Okay, so if you follow or if you've flown with Delta Airlines, again, just how is the airline industry doing right now? What month are we in? What are they reporting the last 3 months? How has travel been and things like that? So do you see individuals going on vacation and things like that, consumer spending? So that's things that you want to look at. Remember, this is 3 months back and they're reporting on those results right now. And then if you are an investor or looking to invest in these companies, airlines, listen to the forward guidance. They will tell you what they expect in the near future. Could be positive guidance, could be negative guidance, okay? So that's Delta Airlines. Just continue to go through this. Again, I don't see any big names. We're going to start to move into Thursday after hours. Levi Strauss, jeans company over here, denim company, WD-40, believe it or not, is a company here. Price Smart, again, I'm not paying particular attention to any of those. Friday before the open, nothing going on. Friday after hours, nothing. So we just went through the news through Forex Factory this week. Not very busy, not much going on. Earnings-wise, again, not a lot of big names this week. So it might be a good week to trade. There might not be as much volatility. So these are one of those weeks where you might get good volume trading. But again, take it day by day. Take it bar by bar and just see how the markets are moving and trade accordingly, okay? Yahoo Finance right now, what's in the news? This BRICS summit all week. So Trump has already warns of extra 10% tariff for anti-American BRICS. So any countries that are siding or going along with these BRICS nations, Trump is threatening with an additional 10% tariff on those countries. So Trump injected more uncertainty into global trade as countries race to beat Wednesday's tariff deadline. So there is a deadline on Wednesday, July 9. I believe that he's moved it to August 1st, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see here with the deadline on July 9. U.S. stock futures fall as Trump turns up the tariff heat again. Okay, so now we're starting to get into that tariff discussions again. That really impacts the markets. The stock markets do not like tariffs. So we'll see what happens with that. Again, these two are going at it. Trump slams Musk's plan for a rival political party, the American Party. We'll see what's going on over here. Again, these two are always in the news, so you got to navigate and trade carefully with these two. Elon Musk and Trump always tweeting and in the news. What else we got going on? Metals. Okay, so precious metals fall as Trump makes BRICS tariff threat. That could be a reason why maybe you see gold has sold off a little bit. Could be one of the issues. Tesla stock sinks as Musk's America Party worries investors. So you could probably see shareholders are a little bit worried about Elon Musk, maybe in his political campaign. What he's doing here might take some time away from these from his companies. So right now we're just reading this. Tesla shareholders might be pulling out, and then selling some security. So keep an eye on that as well, and we'll see how that's going to develop. What else we got going on here? Daimler Truck reports 5% decline in Q2 sales. Okay, you can see this is a lot of articles here with Donald Trump threatening the extra 10% tariff over anti-American BRICS policies. So it's in the news. A lot of articles on that. Okay, right now in the futures markets, we've got S&P 500 is down almost 0.5%. Dow is down negative 0.17%. Nasdaq is down 0.6%. And gold is down negative 0.73%. Okay, so in Discord, guys, we sent out a few signals. This was wrapping up last week. We had sell on Nasdaq. So Nasdaq was running over 150 pips here. Some moves on gold. Last night, there was a sell set up on gold below 3,335. And you can see it really started to move below there, running for 150 plus pips. So if you grab that, if you got a piece of that, congratulations. And we'll take a look for some more trade ideas and signals this week. Again, with market conditions, hopefully this week provide some good market conditions for some good setups. Okay. And in Telegram, everybody, for YouTube, there is a Telegram channel pinned at the top of the YouTube channel for you guys, showcasing everything we do here, our live YouTube sessions, those trade setups, signals, recaps, blogs available for you guys. We just did this blog on the golden zone. I'll talk about it when I get to the website. So identifying that nice golden pocket right there, that 50% to 618 zone. And the market outlooks for members only over here for the week of July 7th. Okay, so that is available for you guys on the free Telegram channel. And finally, on our website, guys, if you do want to join the team, we'd love to have you guys over here. There's lots of education, all of our live sessions this week. So the schedule is updated Sundays. So you can see right now, this is our session this morning. We're going to go from 6 to 10. The first 2 hours will be on YouTube. Then we're going to go private for the remaining 2 hours. And Dave will be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, private Zoom from 8 to 10. And then we're going to move this week into some post-New York sessions from 10:30 to 1:30 on Tuesday. Big sessions, big post sessions for Wednesday and Thursday. We're going from noon right to the close of Wall Street, 4 p.m. And again, from noon to 2 will be with YouTube, and then the remaining 2 hours, full 4 hours, will be with our private Zoom over here. So you can see Wednesday and Thursday are going to be some long afternoon sessions, guys. And then we move into Friday. We're going to do, again, very similar to what we're doing on Monday, a 6 to 10 session. And then we have later in the afternoon, Friday, guys, if you guys want to join us on Zoom, we have the SST crash course. We're going to do about fair value gaps. You guys asked for it, so we're going to get that. It's going to be a 1 hour, 60 minutes. It's going to get right down to business. It's going to be about fair value gaps. We'll have a little bit of a presentation, and then we'll go right into the charts to identify some fair value gaps and get you guys more familiar with what to recognize and what they are. Okay, so that's our schedule this week. And our free blog available to everybody. You can see we had trade breakdowns over here on the gold trade for the long position for over 100, 200 pips here. The market forecast for the members only, and then the blog article right here, trading in the golden zone. What is the golden zone? Breaking it down and how to identify pullbacks or retracements using that tool. Okay, and that's pinned at the top of the channel. So welcome everybody. If you guys are all set, I'm going to get ready to do a top down on gold. We're going to start on daily, go down to the hourly, finally bring it down to the 5 minutes and see what's going on. Okay, so good morning. Thanks everyone for joining. Welcome everybody in the Zoom. I appreciate all of you guys. Welcome Samuel, Conrad. Thank you guys for joining. Adrian, welcome. X Red Clues, welcome. Samuel, oil's pumping. Yeah, probably coming out of the weekend with everything, with all the news that's going on. Wayne, welcome. Had a great weekend. Hopefully you had a great weekend yourself. SSDN, welcome. ZZ, Trevor, welcome, guys. Okay, and everyone on YouTube, thank you for joining as well. Sean, welcome. Ian, thank you guys for joining. Pascal, welcome. Okay, now let's get started. Okay, make sure you guys grab some coffee. Make sure you guys do go to the bathroom when you do need to. Okay, long sessions. Don't pee your pants like me. Go to the washroom. Okay, so this is gold on the daily. So you guys are probably getting familiar with this, and it's been accumulating for multi-weeks, months, you could say. Right now we haven't came close to breaking the all-time high. It came very, very close. June 15, mid-June right here. And maybe we're going to push and take out these lows this week unless the buyers can come back in, make some higher lows, and continue to come back up. But some key points to recognize on these charts and what to acknowledge is this big push up right here that hit the all-time high right up there, 3,500 on gold. And then we started to push down, and from the all-time high, it made this low right here. So just finding the ultimate range, like this monthly range right here. You got the all-time high and then that low right there. Okay, so that's our range. It's quite some distance from 3,500 all the way down to 3,120, but that's already happened. And now we're trading right in the middle of these two orange lines. Again, consolidating right in the middle where buyers and sellers are still in fact accumulating, and eventually will redistribute the volume in either direction, back to the upside or to the downside. Also, not just depending on accumulation, but also depending on news that comes into the markets and things like that can affect the volatility. Okay, we also have zones that we've also identified for quite some time now. It all started with the all-time high wick, and then this body of volume right there. And you can see how it kind of closed naturally at around 50% of that bullish candle. So that was the rejection push down, one top. If you start to bring it into the future, you can start to see the second top when it came in May 6th and it got rejected out May 7th. It traded back in there, the retest right in there, and then you see the big rejection wick, which led to the second push down, the second leg down, which in fact broke support and came a little further down, but picked up that big wick and came right back up. So again, if you stretch this zone into the future, then you can start to see early June. That week we were trading in here, the buyers were buying in there, but that supply held up and pushed it right back down. Then finally, this big candle on Friday, June 13, closed above. And then look at over the weekend how it just briefly opened up and took out that high. Then that day came all the way right back down, bearish engulfing, and continued to push back down. Now, if we stretch this again into the future, you can see how close we came to it last Thursday, but didn't really transact in the red box, and they're still pushing away from it, the sellers. Okay, so you see, notice how I stretch that into the future, just in case we ever revisit that. We could continue to get rejected unless the buyers prove to us or have follow through to continue to close it above here and build off of this zone in order to transact back at that all-time high and take it out. Okay, so when we find one zone, we always look for the opposite. So if I found a red resistance box, I want to look for a support demand box, and this was the one that we identified that from this bullish flag pattern right over here. It was a specific flag pattern. It wasn't just any one. You can see this big 3-day uptrend coming from this pullback starting on April 9, April 10, and closing Friday, April 12. So that body of volume did close above that structure right here on the daily, and then that's where we started to consolidate going into the next week. The Monday, Tuesday held, and that's what pushed us to our all-time high. So just acknowledging that bullish flag pattern, that zone, and continuing to stretch it into the future, which we have been doing. You can go back and look at every single one of these calls. We didn't just start doing this just by looking at structure. We did this back right here when this zone was being accumulated, and that's the beauty of stretching it into the future. Then when it comes down there, you see you have an initial reaction in there, and then it pumped right back up into that second top, came back down. Here on this day, May 14, the sellers actually did physically close it below there. And you see the next day how it opened, ignited bearish, took out the wick and continued to come down. And that's what created that low, but it was trading in 50% of that big solid bullish candle that closed above resistance. So that was a strong candle, and it got filled up those pending buyers and came right back up, and look at where it closed again in that zone. Then you start to barcode where you got a bearish candle, bullish candle, a bearish candle, bullish candle. Notice how they're all making higher lows off the bottom, ignited bottom, higher low, over here's a higher low. So it's still, if you had a trend line, still respecting that trend line. And then we continued to push up, pulled back. Did it come back into that green zone? Almost. It just by a hair missed it, but came right back up. And stretching this into the future, again, we almost came down and transacted in here last Monday, the start of last week. So again, with this, I stretch it into the future. Now we're trading up here. Are we ever going to revisit this? Maybe. But right now you can start to see that the buyers have been pushing it back up, pull back. This might be a higher low and continue to go back up. But we have a bearish candle coming down on the daily, okay? So now what I'm going to do is start to focus more on how we were trading last week, moving into this week. So that was the start of last week. It was coming from this bearish move down on the Friday, and then Monday came down, created a lower low, but came back up, and look how it closed right into about 50% of that bearish candle. Next day, Tuesday, opened bullish, ignited, we pushed, we made a new high from this high, and then it closed with relatively good volume. We again on Wednesday pushed, and Thursday we pushed for a new high, but could not transact in that red zone. And then Thursday, it came back down bearish. Again, there was news on Thursday. And then Friday, again, the markets were closed. July 4th, we had NFP. It came back up, and look at where it came back into. 50% of this big bearish candle from NFP. So if I'm just looking at around 50% of that daily candle, it's right around there. You can see then Friday we traded into it, and also Monday. It's representing Monday's high up here when we start dissecting our daily candle. From Friday, it still closed with some bullish volume. Now let's start to move in with our Friday close and our Monday open. Was there any gaps in the market or anything like that? Here you don't really see any gaps. We closed around 3,336 on Friday, and that's where we opened today. And it was initially bullish where the buyers came back up, and where the high wick is, let's just make it purple to identify the high of the day is 3,343 on gold, and it is technically lower than Friday's low. We're still below 50% of this big bullish candle on Thursday, and lower high and lower high. So you can still see we still have selling pressure pushing down from the daily. When we made our high that day, the sellers rejected it back down to the opening price, and then you can see how the sellers have taken over where they flipped the candle. Then it was bearish. Here's a point of interest, a very important interest. Thursday's close, that bearish close, and where we opened on Friday. So I'm placing a yellow line right here at these two bodies, highlighting a very important area on point of interest where a candle closed and opened, and then looking at the psychological number to the side, 3,325. That's a very psychological number. Always remember those psychological numbers, 25, 50, 75, and 100. Those 25-point increment numbers could be $25. It could be $250. It could be $2,500. Again, it's those psychological zones depending on what security you're trading. So when I say 2,500, If there's like Bitcoin, 2,500, what would be the next big one? 5,000. What would be the next big one? 7,500. What would be the next big one? 10,000. That's how. And then when I said like 250, it could be $250, $500, $750, and $1,000. When we're talking about $25, it could be $25, $50, $75, $100. If we're talking like penny stocks, it could be $2.50, it could be $5, it could be $7.50, it could be $10. Okay, when we're talking about sub penny stocks, it could be 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. So you understand what I'm trying to say is just those are those points of interest, okay? And they can be any amount depending on what security you're trading, okay? Then when we came down there, that point of interest, sellers, you can still see how strong they're. Then they continue to push down. They filled all of Thursday's wick and broke below it. So again, that is a point of interest, that as the range of Thursday's low, and that was a very important Thursday. That was NFP. That was the day prior to U.S. banks being closed on the U.S. bank holiday for Independence Day. So you can still see how strong the sellers were today. They broke that low and they came all the way down, and we have a low on gold right now. So that's our purple low of the day. It's already been so far established. And look at the wick, how psychological it is. Look at the price tag beside it. $3,300 right on the dot, okay? And the buyers were there pending, and they pushed it back up right here, right where the price is right now at 3,309. So again, that Thursday's low yellow line is now acting as today's resistance currently in the market. If it comes above there, maybe it will fill back up to this yellow line. 3,325. Maybe it will fill back and the candle flips back to the opening price, 3,036. Who knows? Maybe gold might flip today and it turns into a hammer candle and we're coming back to the high of the day. And if it flips and we break, maybe we're going to attempt to come back to this body and this body. So the same what we did below us, we can do the same for structure above us. Again, I place a yellow line at those bodies, 3,357, and that's a point of interest. If it continues to fill, it'll fill that wick. You can have a line right there, or you can have more of a line at this body, this body, this body, and this body. That's where I would place it, like right in here. You get multiple bodies that close, open, right around here. And then we start to move into our all-time high supply zone if it does get up there. But you can see we are pushing down bearish. So on the daily candle, if we continue, if the sellers push down back down to the low of the day, and then they push it even further for a new low of the day, we're probably going to attempt, there's 2 points of interest I'm looking. Number one would be right here, where this daily candle closed on Friday, June 27, and where we opened on Monday, June 30th. That would be a point of interest at these bodies. Also, 50% of this volume would be another point of interest. I already have the low purple line to the yellow line, so all I got to do is just figure where half of that area is. You can guess. I'm guessing right there that's half from this purple line to that yellow line. Okay, so if I want to just make my 100% exact, get my Fibonacci tool, and then you see what I just did there. I placed it at that yellow line right there, and there's the actual, in fact, 3,286. You can see I was a little off, but now I can just adjust it, and now I have it perfectly right at 50% of that from this yellow line to that purple line. So maybe it will come down, bearish break today's low, come down, catch a wick right there at 3,287. Still hold that body of volume below us, maybe have a wick and come back up. If the sellers can break this and they have more pressure pushing down, and maybe they'll come back down and test these. And then next thing is filling the wicks. And then you come into a green zone on a higher time frame. That's where possibly the big buyers are waiting, and that could reverse gold back up. Okay. Now, this daily candle still has 10 and a half hours to go. Lots of time in it, okay? We can watch this all day and trade off of this, but it's hard to do that when we're looking for intraday trades or scalping. So what we got to do now is dissect this daily candle, and you can either go into the 4-hour or the hourly. Okay, so I personally go into the hourly, and then I start to watch these candlesticks, which form after 60 minutes, one entire hour of trading, and you can still see that these things make patterns and structure just like as if these were 5-minute candles. Very same. We had this big strong hourly uptrend, pulled back, continued to make a high, kind of like a double top, one top here, two top, came down. There was the M pattern that broke. This was Thursday, July the 3rd at 8 a.m. That was a big time in the markets. That was NFP. There's the big drop. And then you see we retraced back up and they started to push it back down. And then now I can start to see at 6 p.m. when the futures market opened up, you can still see right there where we hit the high of the day, and then it was a bearish pin bar candle coming back down. I can see 7 p.m., 8 p.m. right here, 9 p.m., big drop, 10 p.m. started to consolidate on the hourly right here. At 11 p.m., there's midnight, there's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., there's London, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and this is our 6 a.m. candle. That's going to close in 30 minutes. So right now, on the hourly, I can see that there's 3 wicks right here at 11 p.m., at 1 a.m., and 2 a.m. Let's put a line, a physical line, at these 3 hourly wicks right there. They look very equal to me. Like that wick looks equal to that wick, looks equal to that wick. 3 times they came up here on the hourly at 3,315 and got rejected 3 times. So that is our hourly resistance currently today, okay? If you want to identify it with a zone, you can. Just look what I'm doing. I'm going to the white line, to those wicks as a point of interest, and I'm bringing my zone right down to those physical hourly bodies, right? And I'm making it red to illustrate that there is resistance in the market, and I do what I do. I stretch it into the future, okay? So if we ever do come back up there on the hourly, maybe it comes back in there and they push it back down, okay? That's one possibility. However, if it does come with more buying volume, more delta buyers, and is maybe making higher lows off the bottom and trying to get, maybe it might come back up there and physically, impulsively break out of there, break out, maybe fill that wick. Maybe it does. Maybe we break out. And then if it does close above there, we'll flip this red zone green because we might get a pullback coming right back in. Now the depth of market flips, and this might be where the pending buyers are now waiting to get in because there's confirmation of a close of volume that took out these highs, so they could start to accumulate buy positions. And if it comes back down to retest and maybe it gets respected, maybe they're there, and then we can start to move our way back up all the way to that daily yellow position. However, if we're scalping or intraday trading, don't neglect this big bearish hourly candle that came down and identify where's about 50% of it if you can, because it might come up to there and find a rejection and come back down. Okay, so 3,321 is a valid point of interest on the hourly. Okay, so right now you can see that each wick is making a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So sellers are currently pushing it down, but notice where we're getting a lot of hourly wicks now, here, here, and here. And it's relatively focused at 50% of this big bullish engulfing hourly candle at 4 a.m. that engulfed London's opening hour volume. So you see how I have a white line of resistance at those 3 wicks? What if we do something similar right here? Okay, so I get, and then look at what I'm doing. I'm trying to identify where's 50% of this big bullish candle, but I see already it's been retested prior to our call at 5 a.m. right there. It broke right there at midnight, but it was retested right there at 10 p.m. So if I just grab my Fibonacci tool just for verification from the opening of that body of that candle to the close right there, see how close, look at, we're right on 50% exactly. Right there, our white line is right on 0.5 of that hourly candle. We can figure out now a bullish zone. We go one notch above and one notch below right there. There's our bullish zone now from that big hourly candle. And stretch it into the future, and then you can see how we came right into it. Hour prior, we came bearish, 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 right in there, right exactly at 50% of it, and the buyers were pending and pushed it right back up. We've got a bearish spin top candle. Now this hour, when we just opened up right now, when we just started the call, right here, the hourly body closed, it opened, no gaps. It was originally bullish, it came up, but you notice how it's got a lower high, lower high, lower high. You could even draw a trend line coming down from those wicks and showing that it is pushing down, but we just came down now, and you see we haven't came into the green box. It's got a higher low, and it's just coming back up to basically where it opens right here. We've got a small spin top candle right now building. Eventually more volume will come in, and this candle is closing in 24 minutes. So what type of reaction will we get if we come back in this green box? Are they going to come in here, maybe come to the bottom of the green box, maybe catch a wick? Will it continue holding here? Will the sellers break this and close it below here? Then we'll invert this green box red, and maybe we're going to push further down to the low of the day and see if it will hold down there. But so far we're getting good support on the hourly at the lowest point of the day so far, and it's building a higher low and a higher low off of it. We're in this pennant right now, so you know we're still in a consolidated market right now. So again, you can trap this entire area if you like and wait for something physically to happen above or below here. If we're following a trend, like it's this bearish momentum, making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, new lower low. These are all lower highs. So technically could still be pushing down. Okay. So for buyers, if we're buying, we're assuming that this is going to be the support, and we could be looking for buys. However, to get full confirmation, we need buyers to close above here so that maybe this becomes support, then we can push back out of here, okay? Now, going to the lower time frames, right? The 5 minutes. Now, this is how we're trading on the 5 minutes. You can see the big push down. It started right there, like at 2100, big push down, came retrace where? Even if you grabbed, guys, you know, you want to see, like, you don't always have to go for one physical body. See this body, try and pay attention to this as much as you can, because this might really help you guys out. Because, you know, you don't have to get as particular in which candle to find 50%. If you see something like this, 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, big 3 bars, then grab your Fibonacci and go from like where that body opened to where that body closed, right? See the 1, 2, 3 bodies, those 3 black candles, what I just did there. Instead of just focusing on one and then you don't know which one, when you see 3 big ones, consider that to be as one big candle. You know, just put the blocks together. Notice what I did, just where that one opened, right there at 2100, and where that one closed at 2110. Now you see I've got exactly 50% right there, that white line. Then I can see how the wick came in right in there, and then they rejected it back down. If you want to draw a zone off of those 3 bearish candles, again, you got your zone. 1 line above, 1 line below, and there's your bearish zone. Okay, does that help you guys? Because I get this question a lot. Ron, what do I base it 50% off? That candle, this candle, or that candle? Well, just clump them, all 3 of them together, and maybe like make that as if that's a big 15-minute candle, because that's a 5-minute candle, a 5-minute candle, a 5-minute candle. That's like your big bearish 15-minute bar, and then you're still identifying 50% of that big move. And then now you kind of back test and optimize it. And you see when it came in there, rejected back down, volume closed below, and then they pushed it for that new leg down. Okay. So hopefully that helps someone. I don't know if it does or it doesn't, but when I see something, I like to explain it. But now what we got going on is it came in this red zone. What we got on the hourly, remember all those wicks? They're right over there. There they are. And then it came right back in there. Again, look at 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections. And then they got volume closed below. They pushed it back down. But you notice how it's holding the green box here, held the green box there, held the green box there. There they, in fact, broke it down 345, 350 going into 4 a.m. That's where we made our low of the day. And it came right back up. And we're still trading in this kind of consolidated zone. Now they're trying to physically break it again below this green zone. So the last candle was an impulse. It just came down here impulsively, closed right at the green zone. This is opening right now. Bearish ignited, might push down. We'll see if this will close below here in the next 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So you notice that this candle just opened as I'm speaking. Okay, so there's the big drop. Let's see if they're going to create a new low of the day. Okay, and then you see the 5 minutes. How they have the purple line low of the day, and then the bodies are right here. We're walking right into the bullish zone that was just created right there. So we're walking right into this 5-minute zone where it came down there, back up, came down, higher low, closed above it, came one more time. See all those higher lows and started this big bullish leg coming back up. So we're coming right back into this. Let's see, will it get respected? Will they break it? Okay, look, it's coming all the way down. There's the low of the day. Let's see, in fact, if it's going to be an equal low of the day or if it's going to be a new lower low or what they're going to do here, okay? So this is interesting. Let's throw our daily bar indicator on. Look how bearish our daily bar is. Okay, there's the opening price. There's the high. This is this huge bearish volume coming down right down to the lowest point, our purple line, which was holding for a little bit. But you can see how bearish this is. So if you're looking to buy right now, it might look like a good opportunity to buy, but look at what you're buying against. You're buying against this heavy daily bearish candle. Okay, so this is where you speculate buys. I wouldn't be going all in with like a big position here because this could easily, you could get gobbled up, absorbed, and continue. Sellers could continue to redistribute all this volume below here. Okay, so that in fact did create a new lower low on the day. This candle is going to close in 3 minutes. Okay, is anyone in any trade right now with gold? I'm waiting for this bar to close. Okay, so if it closes below this green zone, I'm going to make that red. If it closes below here, I'm going to make this zone red as well. Okay, and if you want to use your RSI indicator, you can see that RSI is down to 25 on the 5 minutes. It's getting oversold, okay? But that doesn't just give us the right to buy just because RSI is telling us it's oversold, because this could continue to push down. So we got to see like buyers bring it back up, maybe close it above here, retest this, and fill that imbalance back up to here. Okay, so we're breaking that psychological 3,300. It's dropping down to 3,298 right now. Just Sanello, how to trade while working and not get fired? Trade on a mobile and just hide it. Just hide it. Just hide it. Pretend you got to go to the washroom or something. Learn how to scalp 1 minute. That's the best when you're at work. Just go in for 1 or 2 bars. Like right there. If you sold that 1 minute candle, boom, you make some profit, you get out. Go back to work, and then you look for another one on your next break or your lunch hour. Don't let your boss hear. That could have been your daily wage right there if you did a standard lot. I'm just playing, guys. I'm just playing. Don't listen to me. Okay, here's the close in the next 40 seconds. So let's see. That's a pretty big bearish candle, taking out some lows. What we can do is also under this purple line, we can see when volume was trading in it last. I can see over here. This was when we were coming up bullish right there. There we found some resistance on June 30th. It came back down. Again, it came out here, found some resistance. So a key area where we could, which was resistance in the past, might be support now, would be right around here, 32.96. So right there, okay. Now let's go back to what's going on right now. And you see where that red line is? It's right there, 32.96. Okay, so let's go through the motions now. Did it close below this zone? Yes. So this zone is now red. Did it close below this zone? Yes. That hourly zone, that's where that white line is. That is a red zone. So still see how strong the sellers are, okay? And look at how this candle opened. Ignited bearish, continued to fill the wick, create a new low. It could definitely come back up and flip and come retest this area. It might just be a small little counter buy. If you're looking for a quick little buy scalp, just what I do is I measure from where this candle opened to come back up here. It's about 20 pips. If you're looking for a quick little 20 pip buy just to come back up to and test that red box, or maybe you get 25 or 30 pips in there, you could look for that. If not, if that's not what you're looking for, then wait for volume to close above here for more confirmations, okay? So look at where we got a wick, right at that red line that I just placed. Why did I place that red line there? Look back. You see why I placed it? Right there, I just told you guys. On June 30th, it came right up there, and look at all those rejections and pushed right back down, okay? So that's why I placed it there, just what I saw right there on June 30th. And you see how it was resistance there on June 30th. What's the date today? July 7th. And look at how it's acting as support right now. See? So if I was in a sell, I would have done something at that red line. Whether I close my entire trade, whether I take my stop loss to break even, whether I take out 80% profit down there, I would have done something. Because you see how it came down? Look at right there at that red line. And look at how it got rejected and coming right back up. That's what I was just talking about, guys. If you want a quick 20 pip scalp, remember what I just told you guys. As soon as that candle body flipped, because it was that ignited bar, filling right back up there. There's your 20, there's your 25 pips coming right. If I was in a buy scalp right there, I definitely would be doing something right now. I would either be taking my stop loss, putting it to break even. I would also be scaling out or closing this entire green, this bullish candle. Look at it, okay? So that's how you can learn how to scalp the markets. But you got to have that mentality to know exactly what you're doing, because there's no ifs, ands, or buts. When you get in this candle, if you don't do anything, it could come right up here, it could get rejected and come all the way right back down and come back down to this red line and make a new low and continue pushing down. So that's a counter buy. That's a counter buy scalp, even one bar. But for a lot of scalpers, they don't understand that reasoning behind that. That's why scalping is very difficult for them. Okay, so you see we've now found again a bottom. That's the new low of the day. Good bounce by the buyers, but look, it came, cut through there, and look at, they're getting rejected. And this candle is going to close in 2 minutes. Where will it eventually close? Below here, above here, back down here. That's why sometimes when I scalp, it's quick. That bar alone could have got, I'm not even measuring it from the bottom of the wick. I'm measuring it right here from when it flipped. That's a 40 pip move. That entire candle is 50 pips. Like I said, when you're at work and you're looking for, you ask me, how can you do this at work? That's exactly how you can do that at work. Okay, but look at the rejection. And then it doesn't surprise me that they got rejected right there. That's why I say you got to do something at these zones. Okay, but here's going to be the close now in 1 minute. Also pay attention to the last 30 seconds going into the close of the candle. Okay, and remember, this is just the first bounce. There might have to be a second bounce, like a double bottom. Okay, but this move could continue to extend above us. Let's watch. Will it close above here? Will it close near the high? Will the next bar open ignited bullish and continue to fill back up to this hourly red zone? Will we come back down? Will it close above here? We flip this green. Will it retest this? Maybe we can buy that in balance. Or will the sellers continue to push this thing down? Okay. Here's the close. I'm going to assume it's closing above. Yes. Look at the size of the wick. Small wick. Okay. So it opened bullish. You know, that's when it should have taken off and filled, but it didn't. So now it's bearish. Let's see if it's retesting the zone, or will the sellers come right back right through this? Okay. So remember, this is the first bounce. Okay. So it came all the way down, just bounced, could come down again, even further down. Sellers could bring this thing further down, create like a second bottom, or it could just continue to respect this zone now and flip and continue to fill right back up to here. And I measure it again. Let me measure it for you. If we flip and we fill our wick, look, it could just fill right back up to that red zone, 20 pips, up to the white line right in the middle, 30 pips. Just coming right back up, right there. Okay, so we got a lot of volume in the market now. Like, look at the size of the candles now. They're bigger, much bigger. Average one is about 50 pips or more. Okay, now it's coming again deep in there. Let's see if it will respect this area, hold. Will the sellers bring it back down? Okay, so it's a big bearish candle. Okay, so, you know, we can see it's trading in the green zone. What will happen? See, I'm zooming in, guys, just to show you. Okay, so right here. Okay, will it come in right to the bottom of that zone? Will it come a little further? Will it still transact inside here? Will they flip this volume back up? Okay, maybe this candle will close like this. Maybe it's just consolidating still in here. Okay, 3 more minutes to go. Lots of time. Sellers are still controlling it. Okay, pushing it down. Make sure you check your spreads too prior to taking trades. Just double check your spreads. Okay, so it came through, it broke, got a good wick. Okay, it's still got this big bearish head above us. So we got to see if we can flip this back up bullish, and then it doesn't have too much resistance behind it. Okay, there's a good flip. This candle now has 2 minutes to go. Okay, so it picked up all of that. It might turn bullish and continue to go. Might come up a little bit and get rejected back down. So just when you get in a trade, just placing your stop loss. If you're below this wick, it's really tight. You could go below those bodies if you get into a buy. You could just wait for this entire candle to physically, if it will close above here. But you might miss a flip and it comes back up here. If that's the case, okay, you missed just that little tiny scalp right there. You could still get in on another candle, okay? So you got to ask yourself, do you want to join this volume right now when it's still got 1 minute and 20 seconds to go? Or do you want to wait for this whole thing to close? Okay. Okay, now we got 45 seconds to go into the close. So if you haven't taken the trade yet, you know, like maybe, yes, it will go a little further up, but there's 30 seconds to go into the close. Maybe it's not the best time to take it. Maybe just wait for this body to close. It just flipped bullish, okay? Just showed you a bullish pin bar. Could be a good time to buy, but there's just 20 seconds left to go, and sellers could definitely push it right back down into close. So maybe just wait for the next bar if you're not taking it yet, okay? Now it's a hammer candle. Okay, will the volume close like this? Will we continue off of this? Will it come back down for another retest of the green zone? So you see how the green zone momentarily is holding. Okay, so there's the close. It opened ignited, okay, just popped up. Get ready. See if it will continue to hold that ignited body. It's still holding. So see if it can just fill up just a little more. It could definitely, yeah, it filled. Okay, if it could continue to go, guys. Got to kind of pick your point when you want to go in. It's still holding ignited. Third time, will it come right back up and fill? And third time is a charm and ready for it to go? Or will it lose its ignited bottom and turn black and then turn bearish? Okay, so right now it's testing. Right there, right exactly where it opened. Okay, it's still holding. Still hasn't created a wick yet. And this is a critical candle too, because we're going into 7 a.m. in 4 minutes. So, you know, momentum could definitely switch. It looks like it's coming up bullish right now, but they could bring this thing bearish. See how we lost that ignited open? Now the sellers are really bringing it down. Let's see, will it come at the top of the green box? Will it make a higher low right here? Will this go strong into the close of this hourly candle? Because this is closing 6 to 7 a.m. Okay, this could continue going bearish the next hour at 7 a.m. So now you see it's a bearish candle. Okay, now it's retesting green zone. Will it be a higher low, or will they come deeper down into here? Will this candle flip going into the new hour? Okay. So we see the leg that came down. It came back up. Here's our resistance coming back down. So remember what I was saying, maybe two bottoms, okay? So now you see the sellers are in full control, bringing it right back down. They're filling that wick now. We're coming down at the, will they hold it? Like always what I'm looking at is like the previous low right there. See where my cursor is, the dotted line? Will it hold? Will it be an equal low? Will it be a higher low? Or will the sellers break that and push it, continue push it down? Will they close this bearish bar below there? Okay, right there where it came, looks to me very equal. 3,300 on the dot, 3,300.10 cents. Looks like equal bottom lows so far and coming back up. But we still have this big bearish body above us. Okay, so I'm not in a trade yet. I was looking, but I might wait it out another 2 more minutes and see what 7 a.m. brings us. But just looking how it came down, kind of equal bottom lows. Buyers are asking to trade back up here. Still got the bearish head. Can they flip this candle and then continue to drive? Okay, hasn't really broke any structure. Equal lows still holding inside this green zone right now momentarily. I'm just looking at my spreads on gold. I got a 0.7 spread right now on gold, less than 1 pip. It's pretty good spread. Ephraim, good morning. Welcome. Okay, and then this zone is where majority of the volume is consolidating. So maybe it still needs to consolidate in this area, this neutral area right here. Okay, below this red zone, above this green zone, Maybe the volume needs to just continue to trade in here. It could definitely continue to the upside, or sellers could continue to bring it back down, testing the low of the day. Okay, so here's the close in 40 seconds. I haven't taken a trade now, so I'm going to wait it out now since it's 30 seconds going into a new hourly candle at 7 a.m. So again, momentum can switch at 7 a.m. It could continue to go, maybe try and go bullish through here, or sellers could come in and continue to take it back down. So what I do is, if I'm not in a trade, I wait and see how the volume closes, where it closes. If we close above this green box, we're still technically holding the structure. It is obviously bearish on looking at the overall higher time frames, but we're building a little bit of bullishness here. Okay, so it closed right there. So this is the new 7 a.m. hourly candle in the market. Open, flash, bearish. Will it fill these wicks again and create a new low, or is it going to be a higher low created right at the green box here? Okay, so it might be barcoding here. Bullish, bearish, bullish. Are they going to fake out the buyers by you buy in early and then they bring it back down? Or is it just building and it's ready to go? Okay. So this is one of those candles. You're inside this neutral zone. You know, you might have to speculate a little bit where it could possibly go. Okay, it's still building. Okay, so it came up. See, lower high. Didn't even get up to the body. Still below the wick. Sellers now pushing it down. Will it take out those equal lows that we had previous, or is it a higher low and will continue to build and flip back up? Okay, so it's still really early. It's only 1 minute in, but notice how it's still holding higher low. Now it's a doji candle. Still bearish. Will it hold those lows or take them out? Okay, so we're right down there. Okay, it did in fact come down, transact right where those wicks are. To me, it looks like a lower low just by a tick. Even if it's just by a tick, it technically is a lower low. Okay, so it came down again, coming back up. You know, indecision. Where will this body of volume close? Coming back up bullish. Will this leg be the one that breaks out to the red box? Again, it came up, couldn't even get above its own high, coming back down. Coming back up, building, building. It's tough to take a trade inside here right now. I'm still watching it. You know, I see the buyers are accumulating. We can see it together. They are accumulating, but still has strong selling pressure. Like it hasn't even created a new high yet. Okay, so that's one key indicator. It's coming up, but then they're pushing it right back down. It hasn't even like filled to take out that high yet. Maybe this will be the one. This push up where it came back down, filled up again. Okay, lots of time left on this candle, 1 minute, 43 seconds. Also, when in doubt, wait it out, wait it out. Look for a bullish candle to confirm to us that it can close above this high, you know, or sellers, when in doubt, if you got selling bias, wait for it to close below here. For sellers to confirm this close below here, okay? You don't have to engage and trade in this area. This is more for speculating where to initiate a trade. I would assume it's a go in with a low size, you know, to feel out the trade, unless you have confirmations. Confirmations would be if sellers can close it below here, that could be a confirmation. to flip this green zone red, maybe retest and continue drop for that second leg. If it closed above here, like made a new high and closed bullish above here, that might give us confirmation to continue to take the buys to break this hourly red zone and continue driving up here. So now we have the last 30 seconds to go. Guys on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind hitting the likes button and subscribing and notifications, almost 200 viewers. We're going to go for another hour on YouTube, so we want those likes to go up so we can stay full 4 hours with you guys throughout the weeks coming up, okay? Because we're going to go 6 to 8 with you guys, and then we're going to go private for the remaining 2 hours going through Comex and Wall Street with the snipers in Zoom. So we're going to need you guys to help participate, like the channel, join the notifications too, hit the notifications, because I might do a couple pop-up Tokyo sessions this week. So I'll test you guys. It's not on the schedule. There'll be bonus sessions, but if you have the notifications, you'll get alerted, especially and subscribe to the channel. I like doing some unannounced sessions. You know, just whenever, whatever day it is, I don't like kind of scheduling things in the Tokyo sessions. If we can get a couple sessions in, let's get in the markets and see what's going on. Okay, so you still see how the volume is still consolidating in this green zone. Okay, it broke a couple times, came back up, volume is still inside here. So it's making its neckline. It could definitely come back up for its next leg up, or definitely break down for that second leg coming down, okay? And we're trading at this psychological number at 3,300, okay? So still holding. We got 4 wicks now holding down here. I'm going to go in a buy now, okay? Just to fill this imbalance. Back up to, you know, trade up to this red zone, or maybe right up to 50%. So I'm going to buy, quick buy. I watched how that candle opened, higher low, came back up. I'm going to place my stop loss. I'm going to go below these bodies right here, okay? So I can allow it to maybe accumulate if it needs to come back down here. I could open up my stop loss all the way below the low of the day and go a little further, but I'm just testing this. I want to see if the buyers can hold this and then trade back up to, you know, right in 50% of that red zone. So I measure my location where I bought, and up to there could be approximately 40 pips, okay? And then if it starts to move, like take out that high above 20, 25 pips, I'll start to take my stop loss and get it to break even, okay? So just to take out that high, create a new high, that would be about 20 pips. That could give me my risk management to go to a break even, okay? But I need it to kind of break that high right there. That candle at 655. Reason why I went in for a buy, it was 4 wicks there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it could breaking that high there. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to a break even now. Break even. Okay, so regardless what happens, I'm at a break even now. And it is currently running 25 pips in profit. Okay, 30 up to the red zone. And then we're talking about 40 up to there. So if you're looking for a 20, 25 pip quick scalp, there it is with 0 drawdown. Okay. But let's see if we can build with this volume, 1 minute, 50 seconds. Can we close above this structure right here? This is an important close. If we can close above these bodies, this body and this body, we could build off of this to get us to continue to trade in this big red zone. I'm at a break even now. So I'm hoping that this volume can close above here so I can build off of this and get my full pips. But I'm at a break even, okay? So yes, I might have this come back and bite me in the ass because I didn't do anything up there, but I'm holding it to see if the buyers can create that higher high, which they just did, but close it with a good volume right into the close. Okay, so we got 60 seconds, 1 more minute. We're trading right back to the high. Maybe we can continue to push up there. Perfect. There we go. Okay, that's a good push Right up there we go. Okay. So I'm closing out 80% prior to this candle closing right there, 40 pips. I'm closing out 80%. That's my target right there. So I just grabbed 80% out at 40 pips and 20% is running break even just on this candle alone. So I walked you guys through it. I waited for 7 a.m., 7:05. There it is. Okay. This could be, that's a 50 pip candle. Holy shit. There we go. Wow. Okay. So, and then we can measure where 50% of this is, because I've still got 20% going in this. Guys, that's a beautiful scalp candle. We caught that second leg off of the green block going into the new hour. Perfect. It doesn't get any more textbook than that. Zero drawdown too. And we got 50 pips. Okay, so here's the close. Closed where? In the red zone off of the rejection. Don't be surprised if the sellers push this thing down. So remember what I said. There was resistance. Our support could be this red line. 50% of that candle, open close, is just, it's right there. Okay? So if we hold support a little bit above, a little bit below right there of this candle, we could continue to build and have a nice runner. Unless you guys are still holding the trade, I don't know. But I scaled out 80% at 40 pips. But if it does come back, pull back, this is where we could get support, higher low, and continue driving through here, okay? Did you guys understand my psychology going into that buy? Why I reduced my risk, why I went to break even, why I closed out 80% up there. I got 20% running. Hit the likes on YouTube, guys. If you understood that. Okay, because we might get something building. Okay, retested, coming back up. We got to fill that big wick. And then here's the structure to the left. If the buyers can continue to drive through here, where could we possibly go? I would identify this area right here. This was a pivot right there that stopped. And you can see it got rejected there and rejected there. Next move could be coming up to that red line, 3,308.75. That could turn out to be 65 pips running. And if you ask, like, why did I close out? Again, I got a scalper's mindset. I'm a scalper, okay? So that's what I wanted out of that candle. You know, I told you guys, I trade to a target, right to that red, right to that white line. That white line was there for a reason. It was the hourly resistance. We came right up to it, and that's why I told you guys, 80% out, right at the red line for 40 pips. Rest is 20% is at a break even. And then I told you guys, when we break that high, that's where my original stop loss was, below those bodies. And I said, I'm going to break even because that body of volume did exactly what it needed to do. Okay. I can't expect this candle to drive all the way up here. Okay. That would be nice if that happens, but still look at the daily candle right beside us. Okay. So that was like a counter scalp, but the structure, what it was building, showed that was a good opportunity for a quick scalp buy. Okay, now look at what we have. The seller, it opened, it came up, lower high, and they rejected it back down. Now it's coming all the way back down, testing now 50% of that big bullish candle that we were just in. That line right there kind of was the resistance right here. Now it's momentarily turning into some support right now. So we'll see if it can continue to hold. If these sellers bring it all the way back down, unfortunately, my 20% runner will get taken out at break even. That's why I scaled out some profit up there, because we're still trading in a red block. And we have another hour to go until we get into COMEX, okay? Notice how we got a good retest out of our green box now, which was previous resistance turned to support, 50% of that bullish candle. The buyers are still pending in there. We have them pushing up, but the body of volume is bearish. Can they flip this candle? Will it close near the open up here? Will it continue to drive through here? Okay, but you can see how you can get initial retests from previous structure. Here's the close. Okay, so close with bearish volume, open bullish ignited. Will this be a little bull flag up here where it's bullish, bearish, bullish? It's an ignited open, but it's got a lot of resistance above it. It's got this bearish body, it's got that wick and that wick. Okay, so if it can't come up here, you see it's coming up to about 50% of this bearish body right below the red zone and getting rejected. It's still holding its ignited open. Will it continue to hold this thing and continue to drive, or will it come back down? So came back up. They lost the ignited open now. See how it turned black? So now the sellers could control this and fill that wick and push it even down further. Unless the buyers can continue to ask to trade up here and hold this flag to continue to build out. Okay. We notice how it's still holding so far. Still holding. Hasn't broke this. But it's having a difficult time making new highs or getting back up to that point of interest where those bodies are. But it could still be building. Okay, so you see now how the sellers are in control. Okay, could bring it all the way right back down, and then my buy entry with my 20% running could get stopped out at break even. Okay, but however, it could continue to build. I don't know. We'll see how this candle closes. It's a lot of time left. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So hopefully you guys learn why it's important to take some partial profit out of a scalp, especially a counter scalp, where we countered a buy on a bearish trend coming down. So don't be too greedy and just always expect it to go higher and higher and higher. Remember, you got to break through a lot of structure above, okay? That's why it's always good to trade to a plan, right? From one point to the next point, if the volume gets there, do something. Keep trading very simple. Stop overcomplicating it. Okay, so again, guys, if it comes down there, it might break even. That 20%, I'll verbally tell you guys as soon as I get stopped out. But it's 20%. The 80% I took out at that white line at 40 pips. That's why I do that. Because had I not done that, now I'm giving my entire trade away, which I'm not doing. So I'm still in it, still holding it. They almost got me out, but I'm still in it. Okay, so it came down there. Sellers pushed it down. It technically is a higher low, bringing it right back up. It is like a spin top indecision candle. It was bullish when it opened. It was bearish all the way down. We've got buyers bringing it right back up. We have 53 seconds to go into the close. Will the buyers flip this candle and close it blue and we build off of it and continue drive, or will the sellers bring it back below there and close it below, or will it close exactly where it is right now, like as a bear spin top? But we'll decide in the last 30 seconds when the real momentum will come in, who will close this candle and where will it close. The mic sounds like there's a gap. It's in a large room. It is a relatively large room. I'm in my basement. It's all open concept, but I did add that wall to kind of make it a little bit better in here. It is a big, big room. Okay, so it closed right there. Again, bear spin top. They closed right above the green box. So assume that this green box is still going to hold. Okay, we should see some blue volume coming in. And maybe we'll make that next push up, but still has a lot of resistance above us. Okay, we've got a lower high, body of volume, lower high. So sellers could continue to push this thing down. Or however could we build with this? Okay, I'm hoping it will continue to build and buyers asking to trade up here because I got my 20% runner. I would love to see that thing continue to bank a few pips up here, but it's still difficult to say right now because the sellers are still there. They're pushing it down. Will they fill that wick? Then I would be out of that trade 100% down there. I'll verbally tell you guys when I get stopped out. My broker's just a little bit different than what you see on TradingView here. Still in it, but very, very, very close to tapping me out. And then if I do get stopped out, that trade is done. I still banked 40 pips on 80%, and my runner got stopped out, then I got to look for another trade. And we're going to go till 8 a.m. with everyone on YouTube. And then we're going to go the remaining 2 hours today with the Zoom for Comex and Wall Street. So guys, if you want to join the team, you get more private sessions with Dave, myself. Hit the notifications on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because there might be a couple pop-up futures Tokyo sessions this week. They're not scheduled, but they might be pop-ups. So make sure you get the notifications if we do them. Okay, so you see how that bearish candle came down again. It's got a higher low, okay, from the previous candle. And still respecting in here. Now the volume is trading back again in that little inverted block right here. It's flirting with, is it going to be a bullish block or a bearish block? The volume is right there. But however, if we can close blue above here, maybe going into 730, we might continue to take some buying momentum coming back up here. However, it's still very strong on the sell side. So that was a counter buy. Still, it's got selling pressure. But we'll see if it's building. It is technically, it's still holding. You know, it's got higher lows. It's just we're failing to make any new higher highs in the market. Self-made tux, your scalping strategy is great. Yes, I agree. It works, but you've got to have a scalper's mindset, okay? It's very difficult to take this candle and try and hold this for an intraday trade. I'm trying to do that right now. I'm showing you with my 20% runner. But if you have a scalper's mindset, because normally like 5 minutes is scalping, but Real scalping is on like the 1 minutes. That's real scalping, where you're in a candle for maybe 1 or 2 minutes and you got to do something. So you can practice. It's good practice on lower time frames. It'll teach you discipline. You'll learn a lot about yourself. You'll learn exactly where to place your stop loss, how to go to a break even, how to take out some profit, and do everything very quickly. And then you can slow the time down. You can go to the 5 minutes and then test it out. You can go to the 15 minutes and do the same thing. But scalper's mindset is much different than any other trader because you have to react very fast. Also, you get stopped out faster than other traders, right? So, profit, loss, all that might look completely different from an intraday trader, from a swing trader. A swing trader might take 3 trades a week. A scalper takes 3 trades maybe in 15 minutes. So it's completely different statistics. That's why you got to compare apples with apples. Okay, so that body of volume closed again, right, like kind of below this green zone. So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt that sellers are still in control of the way how they closed it. So that zone is red. So its buyers are now buying into a red zone, and they could get rejected and come back down. However, if they can come back up and close above here, show me that they're strong, they got good follow through, I'll flip that zone again, green, and build off of it. But so doji candle looks like sellers are gonna push it down, take out that low and that low, and then I get stopped out of this trade. Again, guys, I'll tell you, okay, that's it. I'm out. So my 20% runner got stopped out. I'm thankful that I closed out 80% at that white line for 40 pips. So to me, it was a successful trade. I didn't lose anything. I just lost 20% profit on that runner, but I still scaled out the majority of the trade on that big bullish candle right there, okay? So now we got to go right back to the drawing board now. Okay, so we're still kind of in this consolidated zone. What we can do is just, again, stretch the zones into the future and watch to see if we're going to continue trading in here. This is now a red block above us. So you see the buyers failed to close above here with some blue volume to continue to take that leg back out. Sellers now are in control. So remember, the overall move of the market was selling pressure. This was just a counter move. Okay, now it came back into the green zone, the deeper one where it all started, where I bought that candle right there. Okay, so now it came all the way in there. That's where I got kind of taken out, but now it's coming right back up. So again, we'll watch where it will close. And we're moving into 7:30 in 2.5 more minutes. So a new 30-minute candle will be opening. Again, you can take a look now at the 30-minute structure. So this is what we got going on the 30 minutes. This big bearish candle started at 6:30, came all the way down. That's where it created that low of the day, came back up. This was this 30-minute candle that we just traded. Remember, I took the trade at 7:05. I waited for this new 30-minute candle to open. I waited for 7 a.m. and that was the buy. I had the buy coming all the way up. All of that bullish volume was when I bought, and I closed right at that white line because that's an important hourly white line. I had 20% running, but there is when I got stopped out. Now, is it going to come back down, close below here? Is the 30 minutes performing maybe a double bottom where it came down one bottom right there? There's the big 30-minute neckline right up here. And then coming back down, is this going to be like a double bottom? And next 30 minutes, we're going to try and come back up. But it's got a big wick to fill. Look how much it's leaving behind. Okay, so buyers got to come all the way back up here, fill that wick in order to break out. So, we could still see more selling pressure come back and push for a new low of the day. Okay, so that's our 30-minute candle, and it's closing in 1 minute now. Okay, so we can watch how it closes on the 5 minutes. And guys on Zoom at 8 a.m. when we go off of YouTube and then we continue, I'm just going to take a 5-minute break to go to the washroom, okay? And then we'll get ready for COMEX, and then we'll do some charting with NASDAQ and US 30, and we'll get ready for today's Wall Street session. But we got to take some breaks. It's tough to go 4 hours straight without taking a quick little break. Coffee and cake. You're right, Trevor. I do have some cake in the fridge, leftover cake. It was my wife's birthday, so there's lots of cake in the fridge. If anyone wants some cake, I got some red velvet cheesecake. It's really good. Red velvet cheesecake. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to lose weight, and when there's that in the fridge, it's really hard. I put some apples around it. So anytime I want to go in for that red velvet cake, I eat an apple. It's silly, but psychologically I have to do that. Yeah. Apple is just as good. Joking. Okay, here we go, 7:30. So we're still technically trading in this green box on the 5 minutes where we got that big bullish candle that we were in. It's coming back in here. Sellers haven't, in fact, closed it below here in order to push it down. So maybe we got to wait to see how this candle performs or how it closes. Lots of time left on it, 4 minutes. Could build up another leg and come back up. But we've got resistance, a lot of resistance behind us. Why do brokers have different data on their charts? All brokers are completely different with their liquidity levels. So yeah, my broker too. When I'm trading off of this, it's a little bit different than what you see right here. But if you follow the price action, the candlesticks, they should look very, very similar to your broker's charts. The numbers might be a little off, but the candlestick structure should be relatively the same. Okay, so the sellers brought it back down. It's still holding this green zone momentarily. Okay, are we going to see that next bullish leg come through here, or sellers are going to come down, take out these lows? Maybe then the bigger buyers will be down here near the low of the day, holding this structure. Okay, so again, if you're not in a trade, wait it out. Let's see what happens. This is the start of 7:30. We still have 2 more minutes to go on this candle. Adane, we're trading gold, XAU USD. We were in a gold buy. We just got stopped out at 20% break even, but I scaled out 80% coming up here. So it was a winning trade, but I'm looking to get back in. However, I'm just waiting right now on the sidelines. Guys, a fun fact right now with the SST education. Did you guys know on July 7th, 1834, okay, so a while back, the first U.S. Gold Act was enacted, establishing the value of gold at $20.67 U.S. per ounce and laying the foundation for gold standard in the United States. So imagine that, guys. 1834, 1 ounce of gold was just above 20 bucks US. And now we're trading at 3,300 US dollars today. Just right over here on the SSD Discord, right here, this fun fact, right over here. 1834, the first U.S. Gold Act was enacted, establishing the value of gold at $20.67. Wow, what a time to be an investor back then. Any of your grandparents, great-great-grandparents bought some gold and still holding on to it from back then? Little ways back. Okay, so you see how it's still building. Okay, here's the close. Still showing some bullish momentum. So this candle could be blue and we continue to drive back up. Okay, if we drive up, this is resistance. We'll see if it can break out impulsively, close above this, build. It's got an ignited bar. It might be continuing to push for some bullish momentum. I might look to continue to buy if it continues to build in this green zone again, can flip back up. I might look to take a continuation buy out of this box. It's still building. Okay, so I'm getting ready. Still bearish, showing bearish. It's a little doji candle, okay? But, you don't want to miss it because sometimes it fills up and it's ready to go, okay? So it is filling up nicely, still holding that green zone. I may, in fact, look to continue to buy this thing if it can still continue to build up. Kind of lost its volume, but it's still there. Sellers are still there. Okay, so it's coming deep, came back down relative to its own low on the candle, coming back up. Can the buyers bring it back up to the opening position, maybe come and fill its wick and drive a little further up? Or is it just still consolidating? It's going to be interesting to see if sellers break this, but buyers are still there. They're asking to trade up here, still holding. So it looks good for maybe a continuation buy, possibly, with 3 minutes to go. Wow, look at the range of this candle. Not much going on, but still, it's technically still building in there. These candles are tough to trade because they're so small. They're so small. But sometimes these little doji candles, they coil up, and then they release all of the volume. So these little guys are tough to trade. These little doji candles. Okay, when in doubt, wait it out if you have to. But I watch every time it comes down. Does it go back up? And when it comes up, it goes back down. So we might have to wait another minute and 50 seconds and catch the next candle. But sometimes these near the close will start to expand and really break the range. So now it's coming right back up with a minute 40 left. So it's still building. It's still looking nice and bullish. Okay, I'm going to go in a buy now, going into near the close of this candle, and then hopefully with momentum, take it with the next bar. Okay, so again, I'm in a buy, placing my stop loss. Again, I'm going to place it below these bodies right over here. And again, I'm looking to come back up into the red zone, maybe to the top of the red zone again. So I'm in a continuation buy again. I see it held 1 time, 2 times, 3 times here, still holding the green zone, hasn't really broke below. Maybe I went into the trade premature. Should have maybe waited for this body to close, but well, I'm in it now, so I can't get out of it now. So we'll see what will happen here. Okay, so I'm looking for that next leg to continue to drive back up here. 33 is a strong level. I'm hoping it is, but this candle could definitely now break it. See, I went in a little premature. It was that doji candle. I should have laid off on it, but I was hoping that this volume would have been the buying volume coming in near the end. It's actually sellers accumulated more in that little doji candle. However, I got to wait till the candle bar officially closes in the next 15 seconds to determine who has the momentum by the body of volume. Okay, so I'm in a buy. It's in some drawdown right now. And here's the close. Again, it opened bullish in a green zone, but that body of volume is rather large. So if we don't get a good ignited push, it could get rejected and come back down. We got a good ignited body. Maybe I should have waited for this one to buy deeper down in here, but shit happens. That's trading, guys. This is the kind of volume I wanted on that bar. But again, it's coming up. So we got to officially close above here. It's a nice, beautiful open on that candle. It came up, produced a higher high, but look at that sharp rejection. Okay, so that sharp rejection brought us right back down to our ignited open. So we do have this inverted hammer candle. Can it continue to fill with buyers and come back up here? Because that sharp rejection is showing that there's a lot of selling pressure right up there. Okay, so it's going to suck to lose our ignited open, because this will turn into a shooting star candle and take out that low, and then try and take out these wicks. And then my stop loss could get tapped out down in here. Okay, but still building nice bullish ignited candle. Okay. Again, it's how it closes. Okay. It looks fantastic, but we still have 3.5 minutes to go. Okay, because this candle could definitely take a turn for the worst and come back down. Okay, but still building. It created a higher high. Man, every time it comes up there, it's getting rejected hard. Okay, so hopefully we can build and get a bullish engulfing candle, engulf this. Maybe the next 5-minute candle could give us our continuation to the upside here. However, it looks difficult. A lot of selling pressure. Wow. So we lost again that big bullish strong candle. So that's 2 times now. Keep that in mind. Okay, it's back to an inverted hammer. Can it continue to fill with that opening balance? Can it continue to come back up here? It's a good candle. Like, it's a good tug of war candle. Okay, there's good buyers, but the sellers are strong. Holy shit, they're very, very strong up there. Okay, so this is the 3rd time we're attempting to break the ignited open. Okay, there just physically broke. Okay, if you didn't see it, it did flash black for a second. So we did lose our ignited open, and then now it turns into a bearish pin bar shooting star candle and has the momentum of the sellers to continue to push this thing down. So again, it's how it closes. Okay, we have lots of time, 2 minutes still left on it, but the selling pressure has taken over. It would be nice if we get some bullish volume coming into the close, maybe close right above here to continue to respect this green zone and build off of it. However, that shooting star candle, if it takes out that wick right there, that red line, we're dropping down further. And I've got my stop loss on this trade just right below those bodies right there. Okay. So it did, in fact, take out that low. If this closes below here, the green box going red, it's got a high probability I'm going to get stopped out of this. Okay. In 1 minute, I'll let you guys know when I get stopped out. Maybe we can get some last second buyers, come back in, close this with some bullish volume in this green box, maybe get that next bullish candle printing. Still a lot of selling pressure. 3,300. We'll see if this 3,300 psychological area can continue to hold some good, strong buying volume. Okay, 30 seconds going to close. This is when you get a little bit of momentum. Going right into the close. $10 to go. So I'm going to go through the fundamentals. If it closes below here, green zone goes red. If it closes inside, it's still a green box. Okay, so it did close inside. It's technically still a green box, but we're right near the lowest point. So sellers could definitely take it down. Notice it opened ignited. Okay, so we got an ignited open. So it is bullish. We had that on our last candle. It was really nice. It was a really nice bullish engulfing candle. But again, it goes into the close. Came down, took out the lows, and closed in the green box. Now we have another green bullish ignited candle coming back up. It's got a big job to fill that prior wick. Okay, so it's doing a good job filling it, but can it fill it, create a new high? Will we get good bullish volume closing back above here? And that could take us our next leg up, but it's still very early in the candle, and you know, it could flip and sellers could bring this thing right back down, but it's right back to the position where I bought in at. Okay, so I'm back to break even. Not what I wanted out of this trade, but I placed my stop loss below those bodies for a specific reason. So now we just got to continue to follow this. We have our ignited open. That's what we want. But can we create a new high? We got to create a new high in order to strengthen our depth of market below us. So I don't want to see like a tweezer top high or lower high. With this big body of volume, I'd like to push for a new high. Maybe transact in this red zone. That's where it probably come up there, get a wick, reject back down, but maybe we can close with some good volume, and then this depth of market green box could get larger, like with more delta pending buy orders waiting to get filled. So maybe I entered a little too early on that body of that candle. It would have been nice if I got in there, but regardless, got to watch how this thing closes now. Okay, so coming back up to here, again, just coming back up to that next red box is about 25 pips. Back to that white line, that hourly resistance is 35. And then back to the top, we're looking at 40, 45 pips up there, okay? But the close is going to be very important. Can we close above this little inside block, or who knows, okay? We got 2 minutes to go. Nice bullish candle, okay? That's about 15 pips right now, okay? But we're looking for, 25, 30, 40. Okay, we might have to build off of this candle as well. Maybe wherever it closes, we've got to figure out where 50% of it is for a possible pullback. Hopefully we can close with this bullish volume. Maybe it gets rejected in the next 2 minutes and comes right back down, okay? But regardless, we have an ignited open. It filled that wick, created a new high. We're trading in this inside block. We'll see relative to how we close above here. Pretty good response by the buyers. When do I go to break even? About 25 pips, I'll start to go to break even. Okay, 25 pips is right up to there. If it can fill right up to there, I'll go to a break even. And then we have a minute and 20 seconds to go. So we got a nice candle, but again, guys, that follow through, okay? Don't be surprised if selling pressure pushes this thing back down. If we can close above here, we're closing right near the high above here. Maybe we get one ignited bar and continue to break through here. That would be fantastic. But it's all going to depend on how this body closes in the next 60 seconds, last 1 minute, okay? And again, if it gets up to there, that top point, 25 pips, I'm going to a break even, just so you guys verbally know what I'm doing. Okay. And then taking out 80% if it gets to the top up here, filling up this wick and that wick. Okay, so 30 seconds now. Pay attention now. Who wins this battle going into the close? Okay, this is going to be interesting. But that 3,300 is holding pretty strong so far. So keep that in mind the rest of today. Okay, here we go into the close. Okay, can we close where above this red? No, right at it. Okay, so momentum is coming off of that wick, ignited bearish bar coming down. Okay, so where's 50% of that bullish candle? Okay, it's got to be somewhere right in here. Okay, so you know when you get your Fibonacci, if you can't guess where it is, there's where it is. Okay, it's right in there, right at our green zone. Okay, so that's 50%, the point of control of that big body candle. Okay, so if it retraces right down here to the green zone, that's 50% of that candle. Okay, notice how it opened ignited bearish. It opened off of that rejection wick. The sellers closed it right at the end, and we opened ignited with that momentum. Okay, so now what we got to do is rely on our bigger green zone to see if it will hold, and 50% of our bullish candle. Okay, can it get a wick now, here, or here? And then can we come back up and invert this candle, turn it into a hammer, and continue to drive through here? Okay, so it's right back to my entry point. Okay, so it's basically like a break-even trade right now, but I'm still letting this thing accumulate. I haven't gone to a break even yet because we never broke up to here for that 25 pips. So still in the trade with the open stop loss. And we're going into 8 a.m. in the next 9 minutes. Okay, so now we're retesting 50% of that bullish candle, and we're back into our green zone now. So will it hold with buyers here? Are they asking to trade up here? Let's see. Okay, so you see how that inside block still held. Okay, so it's still got some strong resistance. Okay, so coming back down again, close to that 3,300. It's making a higher low at 3,301. That's pretty good. This is a hanging man candle. Remember, it had that ignited bearish head. We came down, it got a wick, it came back up. That's that hanging man candle. The selling pressure is still pushing this down. They're still absorbing the current buyers in the candle. It would be extremely positive if we can come back up to the open and break this ignited bearish open and create like a bullish pin bar or hammer, start to fill this prior wick and then drive. But it's all what happens down in here at this depth of market. And so far we're picking up a second time it came down there. So we're holding this 3,301 above that psychological 3,300. Again, it's a hanging man candle. So can we flip this current head, flip it bullish, and continue to drive? But remember, it opened bearish ignited for a reason. So selling pressure is strong, protecting the open of this candle. Okay, but can we flip it? Because I guarantee you a lot of these open sellers have their stop losses just above here. Okay, they could be scalpers too, right? You know, I think like a scalper, I think those short sellers could be scalpers as well. Maybe they're looking to break 3,300 and drop for the low of the day. So they got their stops maybe right here or above these wicks. So I'm looking to go opposite direction and take out their stops as they are trying to come down and take out my stop losses too. It's a zero-sum game trading. For every winner, there's got to be a loser. For every loser, there's a winner. I'm hoping that this candle will flip bullish and continue to drive here. But that hanging man head is holding. See how tough it is to break this? Now you got 45 seconds to go into the close. So now you're going to see who has momentum going into the close. So far, these sellers are still strong. Buyers are trying, but they're failing to break that high. Maybe now could be. Look at how they're squeezing up there. Come on. Okay, and pay attention to see if this candle will flip. There, boom, we got a flip. We got a hammer bar. There we go. We got, oh shit. Okay, there's 25 pips. Remember what I said, break even. That's BE time right now, break even, right to 25 pips. Now if we can continue to drive to the white, that's the hourly resistance, that's 35 pips. To the top, we're looking at 40, 45 pips. So I went to break even right there. Now we flip. We got volume above, red zone green. Maybe we build off of this. Here we go. Okay, you got to be quick with this. Okay. So now I'm at a break even, no risk in the trade. But did you see how we flipped that candle right near the close? It created the new high, and now we could be driving with this. Here we go. Yeah, guys. Let's see if we can get up to that white line. That's 35 pips. And then 40, 45 up to the top of the red box prior to going into 8 a.m. Okay. There we go. Come on. So that candle flip right in the end, the buyers showed aggression. They won that. See how our green box is still holding 3,300 psychological. They built a higher low at 3,301, still holding pretty tough. Okay. So, but we still have resistance. This wick to fill and this wick to fill, big red zone. Okay. So, you know, I'm at a break even. I might get stopped out, but regardless, it's scalping. That's how scalpers have a lot of break evens. They got some wins, they got some losses. We take more trades than most traders do. Okay, so now we're retesting back this green zone. Will it hold? Sellers. Okay, I didn't do anything up there. The only thing I did was when we broke, I went to a break even. And it looks like they could come after my break even. And I'm out of the trade then at break even because then we got volatility coming in at 8 a.m. I'll let you guys know verbally as soon as I get stopped out. I'm hanging on by a hair here, but okay. So it's a break even. I just got stopped out. Okay. So sorry about that, guys. But I just got stopped out at break even. Okay. So it was building, but you still see how this upper red box, bigger red box, is still holding that selling pressure. We're still in this consolidated zone going into 8 a.m. You know, so it happens, guys. But regardless, hopefully you guys learned something. Yeah, downtrend is still intact, Lukeman. I agree. So if the sellers close it below here going into 8 a.m., they could definitely continue to fill our bottom wick on the daily and maybe try for a new daily low. This now looks like maybe an M pattern. You know, like we came up, there's the one top, here's the bigger neckline. I was buying into that second top up there. I didn't take out 25 pips of profit, but you still see how strong that resistance is. Okay, so that's like a second top. Here is coming down to break the neckline. If we close below here, going into 8 a.m., this green box goes red, maybe it comes back up, retests this, drops, fills, low of the day, and a new lower low coming down into here, okay? So it's going to be interesting. 8 a.m., guys, on YouTube. We're going to go a little bit more private in the Zoom for the remaining 2 hours, going into COMEX and Wall Street, and we're going to wrap it up at 10. So we do appreciate all of you guys, over 200 viewers. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications. Join us tomorrow. If you want, join the team. We do send out trade signals right here with the indices, commodities, FX pairs. When we do see setups, we'll send them out. You have a free YouTube on the YouTube channel. There's a free Telegram channel pinned at the top with everything that we do here. If you want to join the team, you're welcome to join the team, stocksnipertrading.com. Lots of education. We've got a lot of live sessions. Just look at our live calendar this week. And free blogs available for everybody, except for these ones that are members only outlooks. The blog that we just did was the Golden Zone right here. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about the Golden Zone, can teach you a little bit something. Okay. So guys on Zoom, you guys stay with me. Don't leave me. I'm going to just wrap up with YouTube. And then 8:05, we're going to take a quick little washroom break. And then we're going to get ready for COMEX. And we're going to continue with what gold is doing. We're just going to continue following the volume, the structure that's being built right here. Okay. So thanks everyone on YouTube. We do appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Join the team if you guys like. Tomorrow is a post New York. Okay, so refer to our schedule tomorrow. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. So thanks everyone. Have a great day on YouTube and Zoom. I'll be 1 second. We'll be with you guys in a second. Okay. Yeah, it's 8 a.m. now, so we got a bullish ignited open candle. This zone, that inside block. I know it's just inside, but it's red still. Have a good day, everyone on YouTube. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember, subscribe, hit the notifications, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Have a good day. Okay, guys, I'm just wrapping up the YouTube channel. And, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll go with gold till about 8:45. Then we'll switch over and we'll talk about NASDAQ and US 30. Then we'll watch
Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys. My partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure.